approached the other end of the Blood Sea. In the distance, they spotted an ancient city rising from the earth. Shrouded in smoke, everything appeared hazy and indistinct. Zhang Yi retrieved a drone from his dimensional space. The underground temperature wasn't freezing, allowing the drone to function normally. The others followed suit, sending their drones ahead to scout. Real-time footage streamed back from the drones. This ancient city was immense, at least half the size of Sarah City. Its inhabitants were remnants of the Demon Kingdom. Yet contrary to expectations, these demon clan appeared indistinguishable from ordinary humans. They lived underground, with well-organized dwellings and even bustling markets. The only difference was the demon eye tattooed on each person's forehead. They looked just like ordinary people. Fatty Su murmured as he watched the feed. "No, look closely at their builds," Zhangde remarked sternly from the side. Zhang Yi immediately accessed the parameters and analyzed the demon clan's height. The revealed data was startling. Their average adult height was around 3 meters. Even the half-grown children towered over Fatty Su by a full head. On Daiji's end, he maintained a private communication channel with each faction's leader. He warned everyone, these are criminals. Their very existence remains the greatest threat to the tundra. Show them no mercy. The offspring of heretics and demons must be exterminated without exception. The bloodshed wrought by the Demon Kingdom on the snowy plateau a millennium ago still sends chills down spines even through historical records alone. Thus, Daiji showed no mercy. His men were essentially merciless killing machines. This time, they spared no one, not even the Demon Kingdom's children. Even a passing dog would receive a couple of slaps. Drones soared high in the sky. The Demon Kingdom's technology was extremely backward. They still used ox-drawn carts for transportation, and their dwellings were the most rudimentary stone huts. It seemed as though their technology hadn't advanced in the slightest over the past millennium. To avoid detection, the drones hovered a full 1,000 meters above the city's surface. Yet with the Demon Kingdom's technology, they were utterly undetectable. "Boss, something feels off here," Fatty Su whispered over the communication channel to Zhang Yi. Even the normally lazy Fatty Su sensed something was amiss. Zhang Yi frowned. "What did you notice?" Fatty Su replied, "This is clearly a small kingdom. But we didn't come here to help the tundra purge heretics. We're here to find the Demon Kingdom's treasure," Pa Jigsaw mentioned. "But this place? It doesn't look like there's any treasure here at all." Zhang Yi's frown deepened. He had envisioned the Demon Kingdom's treasure as a secret realm akin to the Mist Valley or the Qinling Mountain Abyss, a place harboring the source of the gods or the spirit of sacrifice. But this place bore no resemblance to such a domain, let alone harbor any spirit of sacrifice. Could it be Pa Jigsaw had tricked him? The Demon Kingdom unfolding before his eyes bore no resemblance whatsoever to Zhang Yi's expectations of a secret realm. Just as he began to suspect he might have been tricked by Pa Jigsaw, the drone feed suddenly revealed something that made his entire body tense up instantly. The drone continued forward, finally capturing the city's center. And right at the very heart of the entire city stood a pyramid towering 1,000 meters high. It was so tall it resembled a colossal mountain. Even compared to the stature of the Demon Kingdom's inhabitants, a tower of this magnitude appeared exceptionally immense. It stood at the very heart of the ancient city, as if the entire settlement had been built around it. This pyramid was unlike any Zhang Yi had ever seen before. It was layered, as if constructed one tier upon another. The entire structure was a deep crimson, as if drenched in blood. 9-story Demon Tower. Zhangde suddenly exclaimed beside him, his expression grave. Hearing this, Zhang Yi suddenly recalled that in the snowy plateau, there existed a peculiar type of tomb known as the 9-story Demon Tower. In this world, most stacked structures were wider at the base and narrower at the top. Due to its immense size, Zhang Yi had mistaken it for a pyramid. "You mean the center of this entire ancient city is a tomb?" Liang Yu asked. Zhangde explained, in ancient times, these 9-story demon towers served as royal tombs. The moment Zhang Yi saw it, his mind cleared considerably. If there truly exists a so-called Demon Kingdom treasure, I believe it's highly likely to be here. He had a feeling this 9-story demon tower was similar to the massive purple pyramid beneath the Qinling mountain abyss. It wasn't just him who saw it, members of other factions also spotted this colossal 9-story demon tower. Deiji's voice trembled with excitement. "We've finally found it. This is the one." The camera zoomed in. Zhang Yi and the others saw the scene surrounding the 9-story demon tower, a sight chilling enough to make one's spine tingle. It truly resembled a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Countless bodies hung around the tower. Some had already rotted to bare bones, while others were fresh corpses. Human, pig, dog, cow, sheep, sacrifices piled layer upon layer. Who knew how many centuries it had taken, how many lives had been paid, to build this eerie demon tower? Meanwhile, on the vast open ground around the tower, countless citizens of the Demon Kingdom knelt on the ground, bowing their heads in worship. At that moment, the Undertaker rose to his full height, his gaze calm as he looked upon the crowd. "My friends, the Demon Kingdom's settlers lie ahead. This mission must be completed in one decisive blow, eradicate the remnants of the Demon Kingdom once and for all, removing the poisonous thorn that has plagued the people of the snowy region for 1,000 years. And within that demon tower lies the treasure of the Demon Kingdom." The latter part of his statement was clearly directed at Zhang Yi and the other mutants. Though the group understood the Undertaker's true intent, to use them to destroy the Demon Kingdom, they had come here for the Demon Kingdom's treasures. Knowing it was a ploy, they would still participate. After all, judging by the Demon Kingdom's people's reverence for the 9-story demon tower, they would never allow anyone to take its contents without first wiping them out. Zhang Yi narrowed his eyes and addressed his companions. "When the time comes, everyone will be fixated on the treasures within that 9-story demon tower. The fighting will be fierce. And first, we must contend with the demon clan here. Uncle Yu, Fatty Sue, you two must never leave my side. When the time comes, follow Flower and coordinate with him." Uncle Yu and Fatty Sue were only around 8,000 points in strength, deputy captain level. Here, they counted as minor experts. Yet a few epsilons were present, and their power was nowhere near sufficient to participate in the battle for the demon tower. Uncle Yu and Fatty Sue nodded cautiously, feeling a twinge of shame. Though their power growth wasn't slow, they simply couldn't join Zhang Yi's main battlefront. For the first time, a profound sense of defeat welled up within them. When Zhang Yi's squad truly engaged, only Flower and Liang Yu could offer any meaningful assistance, and even then, only to distract the stronger Delta-level mutant. Soon, the Allied fleet approached the shores of the Blood Sea. The Blood Sea served as the Demon Kingdom's dumping ground for corpses. Thousands of years of accumulated bodies had naturally bred thousands of years of corpse poison, rendering vast surrounding areas uninhabitable. Even vegetation couldn't grow there. Yet when vast fleets of ships swarmed like ants, they still stirred the Demon Kingdom's inhabitants. On the shore stood a small wooden hut, home to an elderly man with sunken, dark skin and eyes narrowed to slits. That day, he sipped tea within his dwelling. The liquid in his cup was blood red, yet he remained utterly composed, savoring the flavor with evident pleasure. Suddenly, he turned his head toward the vast crimson sea beyond the window, a fierce, sharp glint flashing in his eyes. Has the one beyond the doors finally appeared? The old man rose, pulling a massive spear from the wall beside him. Stepping out of the hut, his stature appeared normal compared to the structure. Yet compared to the crowd gathered near the sea, he was an unmistakable giant. Though aged, his skin deeply wrinkled, and his hair reduced to sparse strands, his demon godlike colossal frame and terrifying aura delivered an unprecedented shock to all present. This was a giant nearly 10 meters tall. Even taller than the largest corpse in the Sea of Blood, the demon clan is alive. A mercenary swallowed hard, instinctively raising his large-caliber sniper rifle. This anti-material sniper rifle possessed immense power, capable of piercing the steel armor of an armored vehicle. Kill first, ask questions later. The trigger pulled, and the roar of the heavy sniper rifle echoed across the Sea of Blood. After a cloud of dust settled, the aged demon clan did not fall. He raised his left hand, the sniper bullet pinched between two fingers. What? Everyone was stunned. Such terrifying physical strength was jaw-dropping. Even Liang Yu, who could evade such a bullet, would never choose to block it with her body. Much less with just two fingers, pinching a bullet powerful enough to pierce tanks. Zhang Yi stared at the old man, his gaze turning serious. An epsilon of the Demon Kingdom? Judging by the physical prowess of the Demon Clan, they possessed genes superior to ordinary humans from the outside world. This granted them larger builds and more formidable physical strength. It was likely precisely because of this that they chose the primitive path of developing brute force. A flicker of excitement suddenly passed through Zhang Yi's eyes. But that alone doesn't explain the emergence of Epsilon. I was right, the so-called treasure of the Demon Kingdom must be connected to the source of the gods or the spirit of sacrifice. The allied forces finally encountered living Demon Clan members, the first being this ancient and colossal entity. Though nearing death, his ability to intercept a heavy sniper bullet with his bare hands had already demonstrated his formidable power to all. Facing the enemy crossing the sea, he raised his spear without hesitation and unleashed a barrage of shots toward the approaching fleet. To Zhang Yi and the others, the spear in his hand appeared as a colossal pillar. Boom! The spear pierced through the fleet, smashing the first 7 or 8 ships, crew and all, into splinters. Severed limbs and blood splattered everywhere. The ancient Demon Clan's strike was too swift, few present could even discern his movements. The vanguard moved too swiftly for the others to intervene in time. Liang Yu exclaimed in horror, "This is an Epsilon-level enhancement type, Demon Clan member." The spear continued its unchecked momentum, hurtling straight toward the fleet's center. The Undertaker's eyes snapped open. For the first time, Zhang Yi and the others saw anger on this usually gentle face. The wrathful gaze of the Vajra. A golden light erupted from his body, propelling him instantly before the colossal spear. The Undertaker was enveloped in a golden radiance, resembling a sacred statue within a temple. Facing the spear, many times larger than himself, the Undertaker remained unflinching. He thrust forward with a single palm. The spear, carrying the force of 10,000 Jun, halted abruptly before him. The sharp spearhead struck his solid palm, yet failed to pierce his skin. This was one of the Undertaker's abilities, immortal golden body. The old Demon Clan's pupil contracted sharply upon seeing his attack blocked. With a wave of his hand, the spear abruptly flew back, landing in his palm. The next moment, he threw his head back toward the sky and let out a piercing, ear-splitting howl. He's alerting the Demon Kingdom's forces. Zhang Yi and his companions were somewhat spared. Their transparent combat suits were fully enclosed, equipped with powerful intelligent systems that automatically reduced noise. But others fared much worse. Many had their eardrums ruptured by that single howl. Deji stood on the deck, shouting to everyone, "Comrades! The Demon Kingdom is before us, what are we waiting for? Slay the demons, uphold peace on the snowy plateau, today is the day." The Undertaker had already strided forward. His speed was so immense he became a streak of golden light, charging across the sea of blood beneath his feet straight toward the old Demon Clan member. At that very moment, from the ancient city in the distance, figures began swarming toward them like fleas. A closer look revealed they were all powerful mutants from the Demon Kingdom. It seemed the people here revered formidable physiques, for most possessed formidable builds. Alerted by the old demon, they charged without hesitation, intent on a bloody battle against the invaders. Zhang Yi gripped his longsword tightly, ready to pounce at any moment. He was now intensely interested in the treasures within that 9-story demon tower. The Undertaker had already locked horns with the old demon opponent. In terms of size, the old demon towered over the Undertaker several times over. When the Undertaker leaped, he could only strike at the old demon's knees. Yet, his formidable supernatural abilities forced the old demon into retreat, soon causing him to cough up blood in great gulps. The old demon's ability index appeared low, and his advanced age and frail constitution made him no match for the Undertaker. Were it not for his racial physical advantage, he would have been beaten to death long ago. The Undertaker now bore no trace of his former mercy. He had never killed a soul before. Even when confronting the most heinous criminals, he would only capture them. But this time, his strikes were ruthless, his intent to kill was overwhelming. His past abstention from killing stemmed from faith. Now, his ruthless strike against heresy also served his faith. At that very moment, reinforcements from the Demon Kingdom swiftly arrived. They seemed prepared in advance. After the old demon issued a warning, other powerful figures from the Demon Kingdom rushed to support him. Each towered like ancient apes, charging across the wilderness. Each wielded the most primitive weapons, yet the murderous intent in their eyes made even battle-hardened soldiers sweat. Fire. Full suppressive fire. The Allied forces had landed. They weren't foolish enough to engage these giants in close combat, so they drew their weapons and opened fire. Yet ordinary bullets seemed to have no effect on these demons. For the sake of mobility, the Allied forces couldn't carry heavy firearms either. The brief barrage stunned the enemy momentarily. But when they realized the weapons only caused pain without inflicting real damage, their charge grew even more ferocious. Soon, they were locked in close combat. Only then did the soldiers, who had previously underestimated the technological backwardness of the Demon Kingdom, grasp the true horror of this race that once ruled the snowy plateau. The arrival of the Great Mutation era had granted them immense power. And the Demon Clan, already possessing extraordinary physical constitution, had grown even mightier. Wielding great swords, clubs, and spears, they charged into the Allied forces' formation as if sweeping away insects. Whoosh! A powerful Demon Clan warrior swung his spear, instantly sweeping a fan-shaped area over 10 meters wide. Several Allied soldiers were instantly struck, their bodies twisted and deformed, dying horribly on the spot. Their strength is too great. Don't approach them. Retreat. Immediate retreat. Spread out and engage them in close combat. Deiji commanded the battle from the rear of the crowd. They paid a bitter price for their overconfidence. Across the entire battlefield, only the Undertaker held a decisive advantage. Yet his primary objective was to eliminate the enemy's strongest combatant, leaving him unable to intervene here. For a time, the battlefield became absurdly comical, resembling a horde of demons sweeping away stray dogs that had invaded their home. After landing, Zhang Yi calmly sheathed his long sword and drew the heavy sniper rifle, Thunderstrike. The giants charging toward him like mountains were perfect targets in his eyes. Other guns couldn't budge these behemoths, but Zhang Yi's weapon was extraordinary. Boom! The Thunderstrike erupted with a deafening roar, instantly piercing through 3 demons. This terrifying display drew the attention of many. Over on the Xiaojia clan side, a mercenary glanced at the heavy sniper rifle in Zhang Yi's hands and froze slightly. So it was him, he murmured under his breath. Zhang Yi didn't move in for close combat. Though his hand-to-hand skills were now formidable, on par with top-tier Delta-level mutant, but a wise man doesn't stand beneath a crumbling wall. If a few massive brutes decided to swarm him, his life could be in serious danger. So Zhang Yi had Flower and Liang Yu on the sides for support while he methodically picked off enemies with his rifle. Pft! 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 Zhang Yi had been wielding his rifle for 2.5 years. This Thunderstrike felt as familiar as his own body. His precision shot ability allowed him to automatically lock onto targets without needing to aim. Soon, dozens of powerful Demon Clan members fell to Zhang Yi's hands. This greatly relieved the Allied forces' pressure. Other mutants nearby watched Zhang Yi wielding his sniper rifle, unable to help but inwardly gasp in awe. Zhang Yi single-handedly dominated the entire battlefield, quickly drawing everyone's attention. This naturally included the Demon Clan. Soon, a figure emerged from among the Demon Clan, its stature markedly larger than the others. Its arms nearly dragged along the ground, its frame slender as a utility pole. His slender frame swayed like a willow in the wind before suddenly charging at Zhang Yi's position at breakneck speed. Zhang Yi didn't blink an eye, instantly swiveling his rifle barrel to lock onto him. A bullet instantly tore through the air, streaking toward the Demon Clan's head. A mocking smirk curled the demon clan's lips as his body twisted mid-air like rubber, evading the bullet's trajectory. Thud! In the next instant, the bullet's immense momentum slammed his body to the ground, a gaping hole piercing clean through his forehead. Even in death, he couldn't comprehend how he'd evaded the bullet's trajectory yet still been struck. Of course he couldn't understand. The ability of destined reincarnation allowed bullets to undergo a secondary displacement mid-air, adjusting their trajectory. This ability was extremely difficult to counter even upon first encounter, as Zhang Yi could predict everything happening within the next 2 seconds. Those facing it for the first time were unable to respond with precision. Death was inevitable. Uncle Yu stood beside Zhang Yi, his heavy machine gun unleashing a fierce barrage. He used specially modified origin bullets, effective even against these heavily armored demon clan. Soon, a large group ahead was riddled with holes. Watching Zhang Yi take direct action, Uncle Yu, a cigarette dangling from his mouth, chuckled and asked, "Zhang Yi, this isn't like you. Didn't you say you'd be holding back?" Zhang Yi's gaze swept across the other battlefields. The Epsilon forces from the 2 other factions he'd seen earlier hadn't made a serious move yet. Zhang Yi scoffed, "We've all come this far. We're all aware of each other's presence. What's the point of playing coy now? Besides, before the real battle begins, I need to warm up and get my hands moving." The 2 Epsilon members' intervention instantly turned the tide of battle into a one-sided slaughter of the demon clan. Beside Lao Menoju, the towering mutant watched Zhang Yi's frenzied slaughter, a playful curve lifting the corners of his mouth. "Looks like our friend over there is getting a bit impatient." With a flick of his right hand, a knight longsword slowly materialized in his palm. Though forged from psychic power, the blade appeared indistinguishable from a genuine treasure sword. "Time for me to warm up." Though he wielded the knight's 2-handed sword with one arm, its size seemed perfectly natural against his towering frame. Lancelot flexed his arm, a bloodthirsty gleam flashing in his eyes. He transformed into a dark shadow and plunged directly into the demon clan's formation. Boom! He swept in like a black whirlwind. In an instant, dozens of demons were dismembered before they could even recognize their attacker. Both sides had now engaged. The external forces hired by the Xiaja family, the supernatural organization from Brahma, had also entered the fray. End this swiftly. Only by clearing this mess can we race for the treasure. The speaking mutant materialized a golden sacred sword with a wave of his hand. With an elegant sweep, a piercing golden blade of light swept out, instantly reducing a vast swath of demon clan before him to dust. Seeing that golden sacred sword, Zhang Yi's lips curved into a faint smile. "Long time no see, Gao Changkong. I knew you wouldn't die so easily." The Epsilon-level mutant appearing before them was none other than the former defected captain of the Jiangnan region, Gao Changkong. That sword was the manifestation of the Sunwheel Seal, one of the 6 great seals of his heavenly dancing treasure wheel. Its characteristics were too distinctive, so Zhang Yi had harbored suspicions since their first encounter on the Great Snow Mountains. Later, confirmation from Luozhua, the Snow Eagle, about a group of mutants from Brahma further solidified his suspicion. After Gao Changkong led his team out of the Jiangnan region, he fled abroad to evade the S-level warrant issued by the Huashu Kingdom. His escape to neighboring country Brahma, a powerhouse not to be underestimated, was entirely logical. As for the other group, Zhang Yi turned his gaze toward Lancelot and the others. Their identities had already been revealed. Through information provided by the Deng family, it was confirmed they were members of Britannia's mutant organization, the Knights of the Round Table. Abilities, unknown. Strength, unknown. Zhang Yi also had no idea how far Gao Changkong had developed his abilities by now. But for him, none of that mattered. Their strength was at most comparable to his own, and Zhang Yi had never lost a battle against a fellow mutant of equal caliber. Because his defensive capabilities exceeded 18,000 points. He might not win, but he would never lose. He just needed to stay vigilant and avoid being ambushed. And besides, Zhang Yi's gaze drifted toward the distance, where the Undertaker was mercilessly beating down the Epsilon from the Demon Clan. He silently thought to himself, if anyone wants to claim the treasures of the Demon Kingdom, they must face him. On the snowy plateau, the Undertaker's power was amplified by the blessings of Sunga Temple. Even when severely wounded, he could recover swiftly. His power level, conservatively estimated, exceeded 20,000 points. One-on-one, Zhang Yi and his two companions had little hope of defeating him. Moreover, the Undertaker now radiated an aura far more formidable than during their initial clash on the Great Snow Mountains. The boyish innocence that once marked him had been replaced by the confidence of a man. Wait patiently for the moment, strike when the opportunity arises. I only hope the backup plan I left behind will prove effective when the critical moment comes. But for now, I still need to use him to help me. Zhang Yi had already mapped out a grand strategy in his mind, and even the Undertaker was merely one of his pawns. On the side where the Undertaker and the old demon were fighting, the battle had lasted less than 3 minutes, and the old demon was already on the verge of being utterly destroyed. One of his arms was wrenched clean off by the Undertaker, blood spurting wildly. The Undertaker tossed the severed limb aside, transforming into a golden light as he charged forward, aiming to punch straight through the old demon's chest. At that very moment, a sudden, piercing purple beam shot down from the ancient city's skies, slamming heavily into the Undertaker's protective golden aura. Completely focused on the old demon, the Undertaker never anticipated such a devastating strike. His body was sent flying thousands of meters through the air, crashing into the sea of blood below. This scene left everyone utterly stunned. The Undertaker, whom they had regarded as a godlike, invincible being, had actually been knocked back. Zhang Yi immediately activated the telescopic vision of his submarine dragon armor, scanning the direction from which the beam had come. He saw a giant figure on the ancient city walls, purple-skinned, hairless, monstrous in appearance, gazing coldly in their direction. The second Epsilon-tier powerhouse of the Demon Kingdom. The second Epsilon-tier powerhouse of the Demon Kingdom launched a covert ambush, successfully knocking the Undertaker flying. The veteran Epsilon of the Demon Kingdom had fought a while, nearly beaten to a pulp by the Undertaker. Yet he had held back until this moment to strike. Boom! A massive wave erupted from the sea of blood as the Undertaker transformed into a golden light, gliding across the water. His face remained serene, yet he cast a meaningful glance toward the distant figure who had ambushed him. It was a young Demon Clan member. The demons bore a resemblance to humans, perhaps due to their constitution, granting them a longer lifespan than ordinary people. Yet their fundamental features showed little difference. Judging by his appearance, this demon was around 40 years old. Fatty Su, standing beside Zhang Yi, gasped, "These Demon Kingdom people are too powerful. To have produced 2 Epsilons? That's just absurd." This was highly unusual. Consider this, even now, 2.5 years after the apocalypse, the Jiangnan region had only one true Epsilon, Zhang Yi. Most regions openly acknowledged possessing only one Epsilon as well. Of course, potential candidates certainly existed. Take Xiyu from the Jiangnan region or Vermilion Bird, Jianghan from the East Sea region. These individuals were destined to become Epsilons given time. However, compared to the outside world, the Demon Kingdom's living conditions and technological level lagged significantly. Without technological support, producing 2 Epsilons, one of whom was an elderly man nearing the end of his life, was undeniably peculiar. Yang Xinxin's voice echoed in everyone's ears. There's nothing strange about it. If this place truly resembles a secret realm or abyss, then think about the 2 giant earth centipedes we encountered beneath the Qinling mountain. Hearing this, the others finally understood. The reason everyone in the Demon Kingdom possessed such massive physiques, coupled with the existence of 2 Epsilon-level mutants, must stem from a special cause. Zhang Yi's eyes burned with intensity. If that were the case, perhaps the source of God or a spirit of sacrifice existed here as well.